We turn our attention now to El Paso, Texas. The UTEP Miners are going to be joining us right now. Coach Dana Dimmel. Dana, good to see you again,
my friend. Good to see you, Rod.
Always good to see you.
Yes,
also
sir.
joining us, Darren Gatewood. He is the offensive line, veteran of the offensive line, missed all of 2018. But he is a preseason Conference USA this year, and he's going to be joining us. And also Justin Rogers, a defensive back, returning starter at free safety. We talk about growing pains a lot. And when you and I talked to this at the media day last year, you talked about how this past season would be tough, but you had to set the foundation. Not looking at the record, but the foundation. Did you set it?
Yeah, good question, Ron. You know, obviously the first year was not the type of result we wanted to have, but of course you always want to win every game you play in. But we did play very competitive in a lot of games, and we just, you know, set the standard for what kind of work ethic we wanted to have. And I think the guys have done a great job of continuing to work at a high level.
I think you made great strides on the offensive side of the football last year. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, you know, we made a huge improvement from the year before. We definitely did, and we overcame a lot of adversity. You know, Ron, we had a ton of injuries last year, off the charts injuries, and I was just so proud of the way the kids competed. And now we just got to learn to get to the end like we did, and then finish wins.
Well, you were basically crippled on the offensive line. I mentioned, Darren over here, but also Greg Long missed all of 2018. But this year, the good news is you've got at least 9 offensive linemen coming back.
Yeah, we do. And, you know, for our last game against Southern Miss, this just puts everything in perspective. We had 11 offensive linemen that did not practice or play for that game. Mm-hmm. And when we got there was only 9 on the squad. So if we didn't bring in 9 more, we wouldn't be able to fill the team.
Talk about the quarterback position. Kyle Loxley last year, returning passer, passed for 937 yards last season. But he was dinged up a lot also because of that offensive line.
Sure.
Talk about his health and also coming into this year.
Yeah, you know, Kai and Brandon Jones both were quarterbacks that did a nice job for us last year. And Ryan Metz was our top 3, and we got down to Brandon, who was our 3rd. And Kai did some really positive things for us, but he got hurt, you know, and had ankle injuries and obviously wasn't able to perform. But when he was healthy, I thought he did a lot of positive things for us.
Well, Brandon Jones threw for 673 yards last season and also had 5 touchdown passes. You do get your top 2 running backs back this season. Talk about them.
Yeah, you know, Q Wadley is a guy that just has that it factor. That's how I describe him. He's just got a great feel for the game. He runs explosively, and he also runs with great physicality to him. And so he's just got he's just a very, very talented running back. Trayvon Hughes is that big workhorse type of running back, 225, 230, and you need that in this league because this league's got some big running backs, and he's one of those. And then we brought in Deon Hankins, a very highly touted freshman, Ron, that we're looking at to come in and maybe contribute at that position as well. And hoping that position will be it's a very important to our offense.
Well, you mentioned Trayvon Hughes, and I think the best description of him would be he runs like a linebacker, and ironically, he used to play linebacker.
He does. That's a good point. That's a good analogy. He is just has that physicality to him that I love, and you got to have that from that running back position.
The one thing you've established down there, and knowing we've known each other a long time, is that you have a lot of players going after playing time this season, and you've created this competition.
Yeah, and that's huge for us. And as a head coach, you know, Bill Parcells was very famous for saying that, you know, you judge a coach by how good your seconds and your thirds are. You know what I mean? And that's how you judge a coach. And so, you know, I try to take that philosophy with me and try to really establish depth and competition on our football team.
Wide receiver, you're going to be stacked. You've got some guys that have a lot of ability, obviously.
Yeah, we do. You know, there's really good competition there. There's probably 6 or 7 guys that I like quite a bit at that position. Kavika Johnson, Alan Boosie is another guy that I really like there. Keenan Foster, Walter Don, a new guy, Trey Wolf, that's done an outstanding job for us. Justin Garrett. Those are probably our top 6. You know, and so again, here I am talking about, you know, when we talk about our team, I don't talk about the starters. I talk about the group, the position group, and that's important to us.
Tight end.
Tight end, you know, we love tight ends. You know, we've always used tight ends. We use them as much as anybody. I was fortunate enough to coach, you know, Robbie Gronkowski, so you got spoiled by that, you know, in college. And so I know how important that position can be. And Right now Trent Thompson is a guy that is a really young, talented tight end for us that just looks the part, and I think he's got a chance to be an outstanding football player for us. And then we also have a grad transfer coming in that's going to play for us from Purdue, Jess Trussell, that I'm looking forward to really help us and help our ball club as well at that tight end position.
A defense, top 4 tacklers, you have to replace them. And I think if you were to look and self-scout at the end of the year, you said we got to force more turnovers this season.
Yeah, that's the thing. We want to create more sacks and force more turnovers. We want to stimulate the offense, and that's what, our defense, I don't want to be a bend, not break type of defense. I want to have a defense that stimulates our offense. And we lost A.J. Hodgkins, who was a grad transfer that was just a great, great player and great presence for us. And we lost some good secondary players as well. So that's going to be important for us to replace A.J. first of all. That's my biggest concern. We've brought in some young, talented junior college and high school players at the secondary position, so we feel like we're going to be pretty good in the secondary.
Well, just like the offense, they were having a great year on defense, probably one of the best years you've had in recent years, and then injuries hit again on the defensive side.
Yeah, and we started to get picked away. The total was 27 injuries by the end of the season, so it was a big hit for us. But we got good leadership. Justin Rogers is here with us. He's been a great leader in our secondary, and I'm looking forward to him having an outstanding season for us as well.
Now, your defensive ends, are they making a move from defensive line?
Yeah, the defensive end position, that's the hardest position to find, anymore. And so that we feel like, Chris Richardson's going to be one defensive end for us, and Denzel's going to be another one. And
No, you got to say Denzel's last name.
No.
See, you notice I didn't say it. I was waiting for you to say. I'll try it, okay?
Yeah, I'll change
you guys tell me if I'm
ahead.
right.
Give it a shot.
Chuck Kilo?
Yeah.
No? Okay, what is it?
Chawika
That's not the way it. We need to talk to your SID staff on that one. But okay, we got his name out.
DC. That's what I call
okay, we'll go with that. We'll go DC. I feel like I'm back in the Pac-12 again.
Don't go there. If you don't have to,
but these guys are going to make a move though.
Yeah, they'll go through our 2 defensive end positions. Both those guys are talented, very good players. I'm looking for those 2 guys to contribute to our football team very heavily.
Defensive side was focused on recruiting on junior college players.
Yeah, it was. And I have experience with that being at Kansas State for a long period of time. And it's an art form. You have to know the type of kids that are going to fit, the type of kids that are going to come in and make that quick transition.
Well, let's talk some of the players. Darren, I'll play with you first. Talk with you first. Missed all of 2018. 2016, 2017, you were starters. Talk about last season. What kept you going?
What really kept me going was just being around the team, because after that injury, I kind of got into a dark place, and it hurt, not being able to be there with my team and practice every day, especially the away games, having to sit at home. So just being around them as much as I can at practice, film, and even on the sideline of the games, that's what kept me going. I basically was playing through them.
Now, last year obviously was a tough year. I've been to UTEP. I've seen the games, and there is some energy down there. How special is it for you this season to tell the rest of your players, forget about the last couple of years, we got to do something this year?
Oh, it's so special. I can't wait. I mean, I feel like we need to build off last year, and we can turn around this program, and we're going to really be successful. We're going to be we're going to bring a lot of energy. Though I feel like I told the guys, this is our year. Like, especially this being my last year, I feel like we need to go out with a bang and just end it on a great note.
The fact that you were so many injuries last year on the offensive line, including yourself, is that going to be tough to forget when that first game comes? You're not going to have that back in your mind that I missed all of last year.
Oh, no, I already forgot about my last year. I'm already training for this year and getting my knee right for everything for this year. And so that's the only thing I'm focusing on is just getting back on the field.
Okay, Justin Rogers, who's our linguistic expert here. What's the name again?
Chawika I got to be right.
We're gonna test you on that. Is he right? Is he right? Chawika The staff just goes, don't know. I don't know. Okay, so we'll say you're right. Justin, about the defense last year, injuries really hurt this team. And as I mentioned, I thought you guys were having probably your best year in recent years on defense before the injuries. Correct?
Yeah, I would definitely agree. Like you mentioned before, we played really good defense, especially at certain times, and I just think we were just missing turnovers to help stimulate the offense. We played really good, but it's hard to play defense without causing turnovers. So.
And was the point of emphasis on turnovers, is it also a point of pride for you? to force the turnovers.
Definitely a point of pride. As a defensive back, you want to pride yourself having a knack for the ball and just being around the ball as much as you can, and when you're near the ball to make plays. So it's definitely instilled in me to naturally want to be the leader in causing and creating turnovers.
Now we're looking at some of the defensive highlights. This one coming against the Rice Owls, one of the picks coming up there. The fact that you did have a tough year last season, the locker room, is it staying positive?
All the time. That's one thing I think we've been blessed with. Everybody on our team is always really positive, regardless of our record and what we've been through. I think this team and the teams prior to have all been very close, and we know family is first. So,
Coach, I want to talk about a couple of things I've talked to all the coaches about. First of all, and the DB will probably respond on this, the targeting rule is going to be also dictated by a replay this year. Do you like that?
Sure, I do, because it's a very serious penalty. Obviously, I love the safety factor that we're putting into the game. I'm 100% behind that. I had a son that played, and I have a son that plays, so I want safety in the game. I know how you feel as a parent, so it's very important. But you don't want guys to get penalized unduly. And so, to me, I think it's great to be able to go back and look at it and review it and see, hey, okay, was it foul or was it not? So we're real particular about it.
Justin, good to see the replay rule.
Definitely. I would agree with that because, again, it's just a big penalty. Like, getting rid of somebody so quickly, like throwing them out the game, that hurts, especially with a team who has injuries, and we can't afford losing another player. So losing a player to a foul like that, it has to be something that's reviewed.
And one final question, Coach. The transfer rule, do you think it's good? The portal and all what's going on right now?
I'm not a big fan of that. I think a guy, there's obviously situations where you're not in a good situation, but I just think it's too easy for guys to not finish what they started, and that's so important in life to teach guys, is that you started something, finish it out, have loyalty to what you're doing.
Coach, always good to see you, my friend. Dan, always good to see you,
Ralph.
buddy.
Thanks, pal.
Gentlemen, best of luck this season. Get after it. Coming up in just a couple of weeks. We'll return to Conference USA Media Day right after this.